Aloha, Scott Sylvan Bell coming out from Sacramento, California, July 2nd, 2016, 10:49 in the morning. Perfect day to talk about sales. And we're talking about you going through the spec process, meaning that you're going to give up some free work in the hopes that you're going to get some money in the back end. Probably not going to happen. Don't want to burst your bubble. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just depends upon what you're doing, right? You could be a photographer, you could be a graphic designer, you could be a copywriter. But here's the thing, you got to be willing to say no. And there's sometimes people will guilt you into stuff. So my grandmother, her name was my grandma Amy, she invented guilt. In 1919 she was born, and I looked in Wikipedia, and like all of a sudden now there was like guilt was invented. My grandma invented it. So sometimes people will guilt you into like, well, you know what, you really should, because you know this is how people get their start. You got to be able to say one of my favorite words in the English language. No. No, right? No. Not going to happen, not going to happen. And the reason I say this is because a lot of times people will get desperate. And they start thinking, okay, if I do this, and they start calculating the money in their mind that really isn't there, right? There's phantom money, and all of a sudden, like, if I get this job, you know, I'm going to go buy a car, and I'm going to go buy a house, right? You just picture me in the background going, no, no, not going to do it. Be willing to say no. And there's some people out there who are pretty pushy, who want free stuff. And they try to think of all the creative ways to get either free brainstorming sessions, free products, free services, and all they're looking for you to do is to validate their buying decision on how that they were going to do it. Now, you got to remember that I come from the world of home services, and you know a lot of people would say, you know, how would you change this out? They would call me and say, hey, what's going on with my furnace? And I'd tell them, well, how would you change it? What they were really saying is like, I wanted you to tell me what the problem was, and now I really want you to show me how to fix it. And my answer was, hey, I don't do that. I can't. Because, you know, if you hurt yourself, you're going to come back and say it's my fault. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. You kidding me? No way. All right? So you got to be willing to say no. No. Yes is my absolute favorite word out of everything. Right? Is there a faster word than yes? But sometimes when it comes to stuff like this, my favorite word is no. Not going to do it. Not going to touch it. Be willing to say no. Because if you're desperate, people sense that. People can pick up on desperation. So the challenge for you is if things aren't going very well and you need work, to not be desperate, right? To have the confidence to stand up and say, nope, not going to do it, okay? There you go. So, cash is king, desperation isn't. If you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story, that would be fantastic. To the right or to left, there is a subscribe button. You know what you got to do. You got to subscribe. And then, last of all, you can send it out to all your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Why not even LinkedIn? Scott Sylvan Bell. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.